My name is Allie, and welcome to Funny Fat Friend, a podcast about this bodacious biracial babe trying to find herself in film. It has been over a year here in Louisville, Kentucky, and we are still seeking justice for Breonna Taylor and the Black community as a whole. Give to the Louisville Bail Fund if you can. Charges are still being pursued because this court system is fucking slow. We got an F-bomb already out the gate. Welcome back. Yes, okay. Also, it's the holiday season, so support Black artists and Black businesses. Not just for the holidays either. Do it all the time. Cool. All right. Excellent. All right, so, we're back. She's back, everyone. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for those of you that have been waiting. Life has been a very big thing, and I'm hoping to build this routine back up, but please continue to be very patient with me. I appreciate it. I didn't get to do all the 80s films that I wanted to for my Totally 80s summer, so I will be revisiting those. But it's fall, y'all. All right. And I have been wanting to do this film since October of last year. But I got really behind, and I did all them damn Harry Potter thingies, and, it didn't work out. But we're back, and we're doing it, okay? Today, it is finally come time to discuss one of my all-time childhood favorites, the 1998 film, Practical Magic. Alright, Practical Magic. It had a budget of $75 million. It only made $68.3 million at the box office. What the fuck? Is this not an extremely famous film? It was so popular in my household that, there are people that don't know what it is, and it bothers me a little bit. It really, alters reality for me. That people don't know what this film is. How? It should have a cult following. Let's do it. Hello, everyone listening. Welcome to the cult of following Practical Magic. Welcome. We are fun and probably gay. Yeah! Alright, cool. We love everyone here. With this film, I will give a warning before getting into it. There are scenes of domestic violence and abuse, so if that is not something that you can handle or could trigger something for you, I am not going to take any offense. Please turn this baby off and go listen to a different podcast. Excellent. I love that. I want you to be safe. Love you. Okay, bye. All right, let's jump into it. So we start this magical film with voiceover of the aunts, which we will meet, Aunt Frances and Jet, telling little girls, their nieces, that for the last 200 plus years, the Owens women have been blamed for everything wrong that has ever gone wrong. It started with Maria Owens, a young witch who was exiled to Maria's Island in Massachusetts with her unborn child for escaping her execution. When her lover does not come to rescue her, heartbroken, she desperately casts a spell upon herself to stop falling in love, only to die soon after. The spell twists and becomes a curse for several generations. Men loved by Owen's women are doomed to die an untimely death. Then we see a very happy couple with 2 kids on the beach, and the woman in the couple starts to hear a clicking noise. And she realizes that it is the Death Watch beetle. And she knows that her husband is doomed to die. It immediately then cuts to 2 girls dressed up in all black. They are the sisters, Jillian and Sally. going to live with their aunts, Frances and Jed, the voices we heard before, who are unbelievable style icons. Oh my fucking god. These ladies are dressed to the fucking 10,000s. They got these like long ass dope ornate coats with like gold like thread like design on them. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. I need their wardrobe. It's everything. It's magical. It's so good. They are the women I would like to be. Cool. Okay. So the sisters, Jillian and Sally, they immediately start living their best life. And the aunts are all like, yo, we're eating cake for breakfast. Fuck your homework. Who cares? We're doing magic. It's very, very fun. All right, so they talk about their father and how he died from the curse, and we find out that their mother died of a broken heart. The kids in town also start to make fun of them. They'll like run up on the fence and throw things and call them witches, which I was rewatching the film on HBO. It's on HBO Max, and I had the captions on because I like them. And the translation was definitely wrong for this scene of the kids chanting at them. They say, witch, witch, you're a witch, 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 you're a witch. But the captioning said, witch, witch, you're a bitch. Witch, witch, you're a bitch. And at first I was like, oh my god, I can't believe that's what they were saying. But I watched like the kids' mouths and none of them were doing that hard B. It's just it was just the captioner, just like plunking it out. And they were like, nah, that's probably it. Fun stuff. That's my next tattoo. Witch, witch, you're a bitch. Excellent. All right, cool, great. Sick. Well, all right, one of them is Sally, and she's naturally gifted at spells, but Jillian is more quirky and fun and has red hair, so she's different. And there are always cats on tables in this film. I didn't really know where to like kind of put that fact in. I was like, well, maybe just like the first time you see it, because it happens so much. It's consistently happening in the background. It's very fun. If somebody wants to discuss maybe like the theory behind the cats in the back, maybe like what do they represent in the background of the film? Like, black cats and things are tied to witches and magical things. And they are black cats that we see. Are they all Salem's? Oh, no. They have familiars, but there's not 4. You don't see more than 1 cat at any time. So, I don't know if you'd like to discuss that with me. We can do that. I don't have to sit here by myself, toiling with it. Toil. Alright, great. Yeah, so there are cats all the time. Most tables that appear in the film have a cat on them. Okay, they're just like, also they're like, don't seem to be very well trained cats. They seem to be like legit just like cats that they found living around the set. Because these kids, the cats are like literally like eating pieces of the set, like things that are on the table and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Maybe these cats just lived at this house and they didn't know how to get rid of them. And so they were like, yeah, it'll work. It'll be fine. Great. Maybe the cats are actually like witches that were in it. We're doing too much. We're getting too far. Oh. Matilda just jumped up on my little table. So I guess she would be talking about too many cats. I'm over here. Okay, back to the story. One evening, while having fun, eating cake, and practicing spells, Sally and Jillian spy on their aunts when a desperate, upset woman comes to the house. She can't eat or sleep because all she wants is for the man she's in love with to love her back. Oh. Oh, you deserve better, queen. She drops a big old wad of cash on the table, and the aunts cast a love spell, warning the woman to be careful what she wishes for. It frightens Sally, and she says that she hopes that she never falls in love, while Jillian says that she can't wait to fall in love. Sally then goes to the greenhouse and casts a true love spell, creating a man in her mind that couldn't possibly exist. So he's nice. It's bad because, like, yeah, he's just, like, nice. He rides a pony backwards and has 2 different colored eyes. And his favorite shape is a star. And he's good at making pancakes. Like, it's alright, she's a kid, but also it's, like, sad, right? That nice is the big one. Oof, okay. She thinks that if she never falls in love, then she'll never die of a broken heart. Sound logic. Years later, we see Sally, now played by Sandra Bullock, frumped up a little bit in a desperate attempt to make her look, like, not unbelievably gorgeous for, like, a hotness reveal later, I guess. I don't really understand why. And it doesn't work, obviously. Like, geez, she's so beautiful. Anyway, Sally is watching as Jillian, also now unbelievably stunning Nicole Kidman, packs and sneaks out of the house in the middle of the night with her little boo thing. Sally's super upset she's leaving, so Jillian automatically just cuts her hand open, and they make a blood pact that they will always end up together, that they will end, like, they're gonna live their lives and die together real old and all that. And since they're witches, you know that's just real, so here we go. They promise to meet up again in the future and die as old ladies. One day, while walking through town with her aunts, Sally is sad, reading a postcard from Jillian, who has moved yet again with a new hot man, now in Orlando, and she said she wishes she were normal. But her aunts tell her being normal lacks courage. Ugh. Ooh. Woo. Isn't that good? Doesn't that feel good? Yes. Being normal lacks courage. Ugh, that's right. You're courageous as hell, you fucking weirdos. Because listening to this shit, yeah, I don't know. Y'all wildin' for that one. Oh, blessings. Yeah. Then she catches the eye of a man pushing some crates of apples down the street. You know, it's like, I don't know, just classic fucking, I guess, Massachusetts shit. The dudes in apple crates in the middle of the street, just pushing them around. It's, yeah, it's Taylor Swift shit. It's Taylor Swift shit. Sparks fly. Here we go. Okay, there's our Taylor Swift content. That's it. We're done. All right. Then we get one of those, like, we get one of the most incredible cinematic scenes of all time. There are several in this film, but this is our first one, in my opinion. Sally is gardening at the house, and the aunts are, like, pretending to play backgammon and just watching her and just, like, knowingly, and they're like, what time is it? And then, like, a church bell rings for the time, and then Sandra Bullock stops, and she starts, like, looking wistfully into the distance, like, so hot. She suddenly is, like, in a little bitty crop top and shorts, just, geez, really showing out for us, you know, just giving us gifts. And she just suddenly starts running. Just, like, runs through the forest. That's the beginning of This Kiss by Faith Hill starts playing way too loud. The sound mixing for all the songs is really bad. It's so loud. It's blaring This Kiss. But it's great. It's a mood. It's a way to live life. Oh, so she's running, and then we see the apple man, you know, doing his apple thing. He's, like, weighing apples. And suddenly he stops and turns around and goes and stands in the middle of the street. And then we see Sally come jogging around the corner being followed by a literal gang of dogs. It's never explained. She just comes running around the corner. There's literally like 15 dogs with her. Running with her. It doesn't make any sense at all. Is there like, I don't know. I really like to think that they just made this, they were just like shooting in like a normal town. And for some reason, Sandra Bullock just like attracted all these dogs just because she's like America's sweetheart. And so every dog was like, I want to go hang out with that lady. And she runs by every dog from every house. She just comes running out. And it's like, let's go. It's our lady. We gotta run. Alright, so Sandra Bullock comes running with a gang of dogs to the Apple Man. And she slows down. The Apple Man and Sandra Bullock walk very quickly towards each other. And then she just straight up jumps in his arms and they start making out. They do it. They just make out in the middle of the street, having never spoken. As just the town is overrun with dogs. Oh, the chaos. To be a bystander on this road. To be a person just trying to buy apples. The apple stand. As the man weighing your apples goes and makes out with a strange woman pursued by 15 dogs. Oh man, it got me. It really gets me. It gets me every time. Oh my god. Alright, so we then have a beautiful fade and voiceover of Sally writing a letter to Jillian. It is her 3rd anniversary with the Apple Man, who is named Michael. They are now married, and the couple has 2 daughters, Kylie and Antonia. None of them named dog. Oh my god. Okay, and and they and she's just like, man, I can't believe I'm so lucky. We just can't stop kissing. Oh gosh. Ugh. Also, people have like stopped treating her weird. Which, okay, to be fair, if you were run around town, always pursued by a dog, I'd treat you weird too, maybe, man. It would be I would treat you probably differently. Just because I would have to. I'd have to treat you different because you're always pursued by a dog. I'd have to alter my state of being to be in the place to be able to handle all them dogs. I can't have you coming to my house all the time if I'm not prepared for there to also be 15 dogs with you. I'm sorry. I really can't get over it. Maybe the town doesn't hate them because they're witches. They hate them because they're attracting feral dogs into all of their eating establishments. God, so stupid. I gotta stop. Okay, anyway, the Apple Man fixed it. The Apple Man fixes the town's opinion of her. Oh my god. Whew. Jillian then has voiceover with her life as she writes back to Sally. Jillian's living it up in hot and sunny Florida, dancing all sexy with lots of shirtless men who aren't as good at dancing. Especially like next to her. She's all hot and sexy and all these like extras with their tops off are just like no rhythm, nobody's dancing the same beat. It's hard to watch. Oh, good God. And then she meets Jimmy Angelov, who is mysterious and smokes cigarettes. And then we see Jillian walk down a very weirdly decorated dark hallway. And she's like just looking confused, but like in a sexy way. Which I didn't know was an option, but Nicole Kidman can do anything. And then she stops and she feels hot ass Jimmy come up behind her. And he blindfolds her. He just had a blindfold on him. And he blindfolds her. And she whispers his name a bunch. And it fades to black. Because this is an art film. Really, this is a porn. I was like, oh, it's a porn now. It's okay, it's not. It easily could have been, it seems. Alright, back. Back to Sally. She and her family are all snoozing in bed. It's very cute and wholesome. Until we start to hear a familiar chirping. And it's the sound of the death beetle. Sally recognizes the sound immediately, and desperate, she rips apart the floorboards of her house to try and find the insect. However, Michael is hit by a truck that day and dies. Sally goes to her aunt's house asking them to confirm that it was the curse that killed him, and the aunts then reveal that they cast a spell so that she could fall in love. But they didn't think she'd end up truly loving him, but she did. And she pleads with them to bring him back, but they refuse, because it wouldn't be the man she loved, it would be something dark and unnatural. But she doesn't care. But of course, the aunts stand firm and will not bring him back. Sally and her daughters then move in with the aunts, and it's the same shot composition as when her and Jillian moved in, initially with the aunts. The aunts and the daughters are even wearing the same outfits, except this time we hear Sally telling her daughters that there will be no chocolate for breakfast and all homework must be done after dinner. And Sally also tells the aunts that she and her daughters will not perform magic. Sally's still very depressed and rarely gets out of bed. Her daughters are sweet, loving little delights. One of them is fucking Rachel Evan Wood, or Evan Rachel Wood. It's Evan Rachel Wood. I'm sorry, Evan Rachel Wood. I got it wrong. It's like, also, I never know if it's Jason Gordon-Levitt or Joseph Gordon-Levitt. 3 names are very difficult, but you deserve to have your name said correctly, my bad. Evan Rachel Wood, I'm sure you're a big fan of the pod. Okay, yeah, so Evan Rachel Wood plays Kylie, and she's a delight. She checks in on her mom, who's so sad. Oh. But, yeah, one night, Sally stares at her hand and calls out to Jillian in the night, who then we see Jillian and she's like, feels it. And Jillian is now in a very possessive relationship with Jimmy Angelov. It's so intense that Jillian drugs his alcohol so that she can drive home to see Sally. And she sings Joni Mitchell's A Case of You as she drives because she is a fucking blessing to us all. Jillian stays with Sally all night and tells her that she needs to get up and get together for her girls or she's gonna regret it. Jillian only ends up staying for one night and she disappears in the morning. The next day, Sally opens up her shop that she intended to start with Michael. Oh, it was going to be a botanicals shop. But she kept it going and now she sells her own products there. And she gets her life back on track. But now with Michael gone, the people in town start to be mean again, and they tease and bully her daughters for being witches. Her daughters get angry with her for keeping magic from them, and Sally writes to Jillian while performing a little magic, which is making her tea stir itself. And she tells Jillian that she still wants love, even after everything that happened. And as she goes to send the letter, the phone in the house rings. And she knows that it's Jillian and that she is in trouble. Jimmy has become abusive, and Sally rushes to help Jillian. But while distraught over her missing tiger's eye necklace, Jillian goes back to her car to look for it, and Jimmy grabs her, then kidnaps Sally as well. While driving under Jimmy's control, Sally slips some of her sister's belladonna into Jimmy's tequila, and they stop in an alley where Jimmy begins to attack Jillian, but the belladonna kicks in and he stops. But they quickly realize that he isn't passed out, that she has inadvertently killed him. Jillian insists that they resurrect him, saying that he's already a dark and unnatural being, so it should be fine. The aunts are at the solstice with Sally's daughters, and so they're not there to help. And the sisters resurrect Jimmy using the forbidden spell from their aunt's book of spells. But as soon as he comes back to life, Jimmy attempts to kill Jillian, screaming that he wants her to be his wife. Sally takes a cast iron skillet and hits him over the head multiple times, killing him a second time. The sisters then bury his body in the garden and agree to not tell the aunts what happened. The next morning, the aunts and Kylie and Antonia get back, and everyone is super excited to see Jillian. Jillian begins to work at Sally's store, but not fucking really. She just sits in the window and smokes cigarettes and puts on lotion. Fucking hell yeah. What a life. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, so she's not a good worker. And Sally is very much on edge this day because she has to go to a shitty parent meeting where but it's not a parent meeting, it's just moms. I guess it's just a mom meeting, a mom of students meeting at the school. Well, men are trash. They're not very men in this. It is not a men movie. Bless us. The moms treat Sally as an outsider. But Jillian intervenes. She pops into the meeting. And she, using her little magic, makes Sally the head bitch in charge of the parent phone tree, which is a very big honor. It's for notifying all the other families when something happens. And it's nice. But it's barely necessary to the plot. This scene is very weird and barely necessary to the plot. It's really just a fun little... whatever. It's not that fun. I didn't like it. I think it should get cut. But it's fine. The movie is already happening. Great. That night, the women of the house have midnight margaritas and wild the fuck out. Whew. I want this to be a part of my life. Yeah, I want fun. Hello, ladies that are my best friends that listen to this. Let's get a big old house, raise our families in it, and have midnight margarita nights where we wild the fuck out while everybody else sleeps. That's dope. That's so good. That's so fun. Ah, jeez. But yeah, so they have a midnight margarita night and wild out after several margs and doing several shots. Whew. Things get a little intense. They have a very, very, very intense reading session with each other where they all tell each other terrible things, just pointing out the worst things about each other. Very mean, very, very mean. The truth about Jimmy starts to kind of come out. The aunts know something is up, but the sisters refuse to say what it is. So the aunts leave after ensuring that the young girls are protected with necklaces made of Maria's hanging rope. The one, she broke and got exiled for breaking. And then they leave the whole damn house. And they leave a message for them, telling them to clean up their own mess. Whew. The next morning, roses have grown over where Jimmy is buried in the garden, and Kylie sees his ghost standing in them smoking a cigarette. Whew, this is a creepy kid. I was a creepy kid too, so I identify with it. Jillian angrily goes and rips out the roses and screams at the gravesite to leave them alone. And Sally calms her down. But then they see his boots are sticking out of the ground. But then they slowly sink back under the grass. Ugh. Jillian goes in the house and Sally starts pruning the roses when suddenly a mysterious sheriff man appears. And turns out he's looking for Jimmy, which very much freaks the sisters out. His name is Gary Hallett. He's from Tucson, Arizona, in search of Jimmy, who turns out is also a fucking serial killer. Well, bad men are bad. Bad men should not be allowed to do things. They'll continue to be bad. Okay. Gary found one of the letters that Sally sent Jillian, which is what led him to them. So it's I assume the one she dropped in the mailbox when the phone started ringing. So it never actually got delivered to Jillian, but was at the house when he probably went to investigate. They say that, they haven't seen him, but then Sally kind of gets real freaked out and weird when Gary asks about the car that's in the driveway, which is Jimmy's. And Sally gives a frantic and jumbled answer about how Jimmy kidnapped Jillian, but they haven't seen him since. And he gathers some evidence from the car when he leaves, and it's not looking good for the gowns. But then we get a fun little montage of Gary talking to people throughout the town, asking about the sisters, and all of them are talking about how they're witches and always killing men and all that. Ultimately, he ends up at Sally's shop, where she confronts him, asking if she's being investigated, and he tells her he knows the story that she told him wasn't complete. So she agrees to have him over to the house the next morning to talk some more. Alright, to try and nip things in the bud, Jillian, Kylie, and Antonia start to create a potion that will banish Gary to give him when he comes over. When they're making the potion, Kylie shows Jillian a spell she found, which turns out to be the true love spell that Sally cast when she was young. And it describes her true love, which the girls discuss must have not been her dad. It wasn't their dad because he had brown eyes and all the traits didn't add up to him. Kylie tells Jillian she can't wait to fall in love. And Jillian warns her to keep her eyes open when it's happening to keep her safe, to keep her from falling down. When Gary arrives, Antonia invites them to have pancakes with them, and he agrees. Gary and Sally talk in the greenhouse about how magic is like his badge, in that it only has power if he believes in it. So she doesn't lie to him at all during this interaction. He asks if they're hiding Jimmy in the house, and she says that no, he is not in the house. And then he asks if she or her sister killed him, and she says yes, a couple of times. They go to the kitchen for breakfast, where Gary shows off his flapjack making skills. He makes fucking pancakes in the shape of cacti. Just freehands it. Fucking sure. Which is, hey, one of the traits of Sally's true love. The girls pick up on it, that's one of the traits, and then they notice that he has 2 different colored eyes, just like described. And they ask if he can ride a pony backwards, and he says backwards, forwards, sideways. And the girls realize that he is the one described in Sally's true love spell. So they take the potion, which is mixed into the syrup, and they throw it in the sea. Then, after watching the fun romp, Gary, Sally, and Jillian notice a toad making a weird sound sitting on a log nearby. The toad then spits out Jimmy's ring. Matilda! Psst! They all form a circle around Jillian and chant the spell, but it just ends up aggravating the ghost and causing Jillian immense pain. Sally makes everyone stop. Jillian tells Sally to just let her die, so that no one else has to suffer because, of course, Jillian's a really nice person. But there's no way in hell that Sally is going to let Jillian die. They made a pact. They were going to die together, and today was not that day. So, Sally entices Jimmy to the surface with some tequila, and then getting inside the circle, Sally and the townswomen reenact her blood oath with Jillian. With the power of the bonds of the women and the coven, they exile him permanently, and they break the Owens curse. Then they all take their brooms and they sweep his ashes out of the house and away forever. Later we see Sally receive a letter from Gary, and he has cleared the sisters of any suspicion of wrongdoing in Jimmy's case. Sally asks Jillian what she would do about Gary, and she says, "What wouldn't I do for the right man?" And Sally goes and stands wistfully in the sunset. And then the next day, Gary comes walking up to her as she exits the woods. I don't know. I was like, wait, are they in Massachusetts or did she go to Tucson? Well, she didn't go to Tucson. She just walked out of some woods. But I don't know where they were in relation to her property. I don't know. Yeah, so that's that. It's all very confusing and dramatic and wonderful, which is like the whole film all the time. Then the Owens women celebrate All Hallows Eve, dressed up in witch costumes. And they get up on the roof, and they jump down, and they float very elegantly to the ground, where the townsfolk, who now love and cherish them all, applaud. And that's that. That's the end of the film. Practical magic. Is it practical? Any of their magic? I've never thought about that. The tea stirring, that's practical. They light candles, practical. Like practical effects, like things you create. Maybe so in that way it's just like when you're creating it from just like the things you have. It's maybe. I don't know. Now I'm confused. It's gonna be okay. We're okay. It's fine. Alright, so Practical Magic has only a 21% on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics fucking hate this film so much. Oh man, they all dragged it through the coals. They were all like, this fucking sucks. It doesn't know what kind of movie it wants to be, and it sucks. And I'm like, what? It wants to be practical magic, and it is, and it's great, and it's fun. And it's just like, shh, let it happen. You know, we don't have to be so upset. Don't take it personally. What witch hurt you? Roger Ebert, huh? What witch hurt you? Fucking gosh. Letterboxd, though, it has a 3.4 out of 5 stars, and I think that's much better. Hell yeah. It's like a 75%. Or maybe even, is that higher or lower? I don't know. It's close to that, though. That's math. It's one of those. It's a little lower than 75% math. But I think that's a good score. I'm about that. But yeah, it did actually win an award. It Stockard Channing, who plays Aunt Frances, she won a Blockbuster Entertainment Award for favorite supporting actress. So hell fuck yeah. Also, Stockard Channing looks almost exactly like my grandmother, who also is a fucking witch. So and is who I would watch this film with all the time growing up. Like, every year my grandmother dressed up as a witch for Halloween and just like straight up just is a witch. And I love her. She's the best. Yeah. And I was a creepy kid. It's all explained. I love this film because it's just like a fun, all white version of my fantasy witch life, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, that brings me to, do I relate? So yeah, a little, because witches, and also bullying because being different. But I'm no Sandra Bullock or Nicole Kidman looking ass. What the fuck? What the fuck? Man, ain't no world in which what? You cannot tell me in our society that if we found out right now that for real Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock were witches, that they would be exiled or like treated. No, we'd be like, that adds up. Sure, cool. Hell yeah. We'd be down. I'd be down. It would explain so much. And I love it, But, so yeah, that was impossibly unrelatable. You can't, there's no. Yep. Yeah. Also, why didn't Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman do more movies together after this? Maybe it's because it got bad reviews, but like, even in the bad reviews, there were people being like, wow, their chemistry is great. Because it is. It's fucking sick. And they were both fucking massive stars. I don't know what happened. It's a misconnection. We should have it. They're still alive. It's not over. They can do it. Ladies, I know that you're big fans of the pod. Just do it. Do it. Evan Rachel Wood. Hit him up. You're a friend of the pod too. Do it, y'all. Let's have a reunion. Let's make some more films together. Cool. All right. Well, that's Practical Magic. Incredible. A wondrous fall film, I think. Send me suggestions for more fall films. I have a winter spectacular planned for when it's winter, but we are still in fall, y'all, for now. But yeah, I do have a series planned for the winter, and I'm pretty excited about it. And I don't know if you all are going to be excited about it, but I am. Cool. All right. Again, thank you so much for sticking around and doing this weird thing with me. I love you so very much. I appreciate you. I hope that you've been well. I hope you're taking care of yourself best you can. Doing what you need to do to feel all right. Yeah, I love you so much. And I have been your friendly neighborhood vet friend, Allie, and I would vacuum up the soul of a man any day for you. Alright. I'll talk at you next time. Hopefully pursued by 15 dogs. Alright, I'm done. Okay. Bye.